Sanctions. The wife of one of the Americans, the Pastor Saeed Abedini, describing the moment she found out her husband was free.
It was just such an amazing moment of running to them as I hung up with on the call with State, and I just ran and said, "Daddy's coming home, he's free." It was 7:30 in the morning on a weekend, and usually they're just like, leave us alone, and they jumped up. They were jumping, dancing. It was, I wish I could have recorded it, but I didn't. But it was an amazing moment.
Let's take you straight to that U.S. base in Germany where these Americans are being treated. I have Congressman Robert Pittenger here, who has worked for more than 2 years to free the pastor from that Iranian prison. Nice to see you, sir. You were part of this welcoming delegation. How is he?
Well, he's undergoing treatment right now and reviewed by the doctors for his physical and mental conditions. You know, it's been a long journey to get him here, Brooke, but it's going to be a long journey hereafter. The torture, torment that he's been through the last 3.5 years by the Iranians in isolation all that time, and I think we need to recognize that this has played a big toll on his emotional capacity. So whatever time is needed, he'll be here, and then he'll have ongoing assistance from this point on.
You say isolation all this time. How was he treated for all of those many months?
Well, we lost contact with him over the last year because the Iranians made his family leave the country, but he had been put in isolation and had very brutal treatment according to the family members, a lot of personal mental torture, and that takes a toll on somebody day in and day out. And the assimilation process of him coming back to his family is what's important. Nagame will be flying here tomorrow, and she'll be with her husband, and they'll have a chance to begin their relationship all over again. But, you know, when you want to give love and you're hurting inside, it's hard to do. And both of them want to love each other and love their families and continue to go on. But it's going to take some healing time, and I know their community will be in full support of them.
Congressman Pittenger, you know as well as I do, some of your fellow Republicans in Congress, though, they are highly critical of this prisoner swap, and we now know that for 4 Americans held on what the U.S. called trumped-up espionage charges, the Department of Justice telling CNN 21 Iranians were cleared of charges and released. Was this a fair deal? Your opinion?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm glad they're home. Yes, I feel like I could have negotiated something different or better. Oftentimes the last 2 years I wish we could trade negotiators. They've done a spectacular job of getting everything they wanted all the time. So 7 of their folks are going home, and they were people who had criminal backgrounds to the effect of breaking the sanctions and possibly involved in terrorism financing. Our folks were not criminals. They were patriotic people there to do the right thing. So at the end of the day, they're home. There'll be a day we can discuss that in greater detail. And some of the other concerns are the outcomes of this agreement. There are no coincidences in politics. These things happen and they're strategic. The fact that Iran received $100 billion and had the sanctions cleared certainly was a motivation for them to release these 3 individuals.
We will continue those conversations as they are important here, especially as folks are out and about on the trail talking about this as well. But for now, obviously, our best to the Americans who are now safe. Congressman Pittenger, thank you, sir, for your time live in Germany for us.
Good to be with you, Brooke.